See what I look like. There's this long strand of hair that I haven't managed to trim off. Turned into like a rope. Strange, can't seem to turn it not into a rope. So I stuck some butter. I call it butter. It's you need to put butter in your hair if you want it to live. It gets real dried out. Butter is the secret to good hair. Notice that all the celebrities have buttered hair, and all the drying out with salt, because all the shampoos are full of salt. Salts dry you out. I try to dehydrate at night. It's something that they said I have to learn to do. Boing. So I don't know what to do, or what I'd like to do. I haven't got the courage to do. So if people want me to do metal detecting down the river, up the river I mean, because I had a weird dream. I played a high frequency at 5,000 kilohertz, and my ears, I taught them to ring like that by listening to it in both ears real close, and then try to store it in my ears, so there'd be that ringing noise, and then if I ever went anywhere near where there's gold, it would ring, my ears would ring heaps. So I went to sleep, and in my dream I went over towards the river, and there was a massive monker of gold. And when I got there and found it, then some dude caught me and said something, freaked me out, freaked my soul out anyway, and my soul come running right back to my body in a zip. So if the electrons from a pacemaker are killing you, and you've been microwaving your food and eating this rubbery stuff, and the nutrients have been destroyed mostly, you aren't going to get what you need. I heard that fasting's real good, but not if you can't get the nutrition in you, it's not. So you've got to get that nutrition in you. You've got to get a lot of it to make up for it. See, my nephew, he used to cook in the microwave and destroy a lot of the food. When you put that destroyed food in your body, it doesn't do any good. It's like eating cardboard. You don't know you're eating cardboard, though. That's the thing. You don't know when you're eating cardboard and how destroyed it is. So I want to go for a random walk on a day when no one's around, when they're all at school and no one's paying attention. Like today is a good day, it's Monday. But I have to go to the Freemasons food bank because I have need of whatever the bugger they can spare. Sometimes some of the stuff they give you could kind of try to kill you. Like they give you green apples that have a type of deadly poison, but that's just because it's green. But mild poison is good for you in some ways, but not necessarily. Excuse me. So I still have a bit of stress. Whenever you get a bump over here, it shows you've got a bit of blood pressure. And when you get dips, it means you're dehydrated. When you get bags, it's because you wake up through the night and go for a urinate so that your body doesn't bloat too big. My body bloats up because it says it doesn't need any nutrition. What they did wrong for me at the hospital was they forced me to go without lots of things. Like there was nearly no air in the place that I was being blown wind. And I thought, that's crazy. And then they've got one where there's a ground fan and it blows down the bottom fresh air, actual oxygen. So I hadn't had oxygen for quite a while, only just minor amounts. But what was the wrong that they done? Probably nothing, right? Now what they did was they reset my body in a way where I had to starve over a number of days. And And they said it could be up to 2 weeks. And I just looked at myself and thought, how am I going to live through this? And they said, we promise to watch out for you, look after you, and we'll wean you on to powders or whatever. We'll put some goodness into your blood. Make sure to make some calcium into your blood. So they had these 4 vials of calcium over the whole 2 weeks. And they promised to put them in gradually, and I could live without food. So I went on a nutrients in, belief of nutrients going in diet, and blood all coming out, and left me with nearly none. Though they would have had a percentage replaced, I found out that there were 2 sheep replacement. Their blood was being injected in me, and my blood was being taken out and sampled and checked. So they put it under the microscope and they check how it's doing, and they try to repair it how it ought to be. And so it's been proven that you can, in emergencies, you can replace human blood with cattle blood. Because in the war, there was one of the wars where it was documented that it was proven that a human, as long as they've got blood that carries life and sustenance, it could be a cow, it could be a sheep, it could be a goat, it could be any kind of nutrients. Like if you've got a balding problem, you should go get a goat and steal its blood and inject it into you, and you'll start growing horns and hair and things, right? Their blood is really good for you. Now the Christians, they're saying all this horrible stuff like, oh, you shouldn't eat blood, shouldn't drink blood, shouldn't partake in blood, shouldn't inject it into you or anything. So if there was diseases in the animal, I guess it could be nature that is designed of their will, because of the way that they've conceived in their mind what is believed to be such things. See, what happens in your brain is you remember life. You remember your bumps and your scrapes, and you remember them all the time, and you live with the memory of the mapping of these things. But when you trust God, when you pray to Him and, beg Him a lot and ask Him to help you and heal, and you give Him the praise and the glory, what really happens? Well, God can take away these sicknesses because His Son can. So you pray to His new form, which is His Son. I don't like putting things in my camera shot, but I'm stuck with the dang things up on there unless I remove them. That's my doorway and the cabinet and my hat. But I happen to have my chair directly in front of the TV, which over there, it's on freeze frame. I've been watching a lot of YouTube to learn how other people do stuff, because I think that's how it should be, that we should learn from others. Learn the natures, learn the habits. Mankind is just a learning beast, but if you don't learn to sniff it in, get it into the phlegms into your swallow drop down hole, and then try to swallow it without irritating it by doing it too much. Just a good happy medium. I had all these maggots appearing because there were a lot of flies came in, they're fighting and everything, and I whacked a few dead. Next thing you know, the maggots crawled out of their butt, and there's maggots on the floor sometimes, and it's quite gross. I thought, well, if I could just find a pile of maggots, I could go fishing, put maggots on the line, and hook them on hooks. Just got to grab some hooks. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I want but can't have. A lot of things that I haven't got and could get. And a lot of weird things going on with me drinking coffee. Makes me very bored over here. Makes you angry on your frontal lobe. Because the chaos. Something happens where you have these receptors in your brain, and they get coated in carbon. So it's very browned. Coffee is just beans that's browned. But who knows what's brown? Could be poop for all I know. But getting bald is a sign that my kidneys are packing up. If I'm trying to get stuff, then I have to tell myself, drink something else, something that's not going to coat you. So I changed to Milo, but my hair starts to come back. Changed to something, but the problem with Milo is it's horrible evil. You know, it's like they've got a blender, they've thrown in some toilet rolls until it's shredded, and then they throw in some cocoa and some spacer agents. So it could be corn flour, could be anything, could be arrowroot, but it's a type of protein which thickens. So they can make it into solution, and then they evaporate it. But because it's got the bulky stuff, it bulks it up a bit. So then they can sell it in bulk, and they just get like chocolate bars and chuck them in the blender. While it's going, they got a massive blender, and they just chuck sacks of whatever. You know, who knows? It could be chalk, sawdust, anything, but there's toilet paper. Toilet rolls. You know, they were saying that there was going to be a great loss of toilet paper over this COVID. Oh, bullshit. You know, what it is they blend up the toilet paper rolls. They get the toilet paper and the toilet paper rolls, and they fill up. They chuck like 100 sacks of cocoa, maybe 2 sacks of salt, a couple of sacks of whatever it is, maybe chocolate bars or something. I don't know if they take the bag off, They make this Milo stuff and then they can it, and because it's had all this thickener in it, it's made it spread out, and then they blend it until it's just the right texture. For all I know, it's just toilet rolls blended mixed with chocolate bars blended. See, they get these. They go and collect the use by dates of chocolates, and then they bring them back. They blend them. And as long as they don't smell rotten, they have a taste tester who grabs one chocolate bar out of each pile and then just goes, feels sick, that one. We'll just throw that one away. That's all I think.